Today you will be working on percent change. So first you need to fold your notes paper in half and cut on the dotted line to create your foldable. All right, so we're working on percent change, which means we are finding the percentage when there is a change in a value. Okay, so in order to find percent change, you have percent increase and you have percent decrease. So our first example would be an example of percent increase. It says find the percent of change from 40 to 59. So if I am going from 40 to 59, that means I am increasing, which is why it is percent increase. Before I even get started, the first thing I'm going to do is set up my proportion box. So usually when we're working with percentages, we do part over total. But with percent change, you are going to put change over original. So you have your change over your original. Your change is still your part, and your original is still your total. So at the top, we put our given information. Then here we have our percentages, right? So we're going from 40 to 59. So that means my original would be 40. So I'm going to place that here. That is what I'm given. I need to figure out what my change is. So I need to figure out what the difference is. And remember, when you find the difference, you subtract. So I need to figure out what 59 minus 40 is. And you get 19. Okay. So that 19 is going to go in my change. There was a change in 19 units to go from 40 to 59. We are looking for the percent, so we know that our percent box is open under change. And we know all percentages are out of 100, so we're going to place a 100 there. Once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply and divide. So now I have 40 times x, which is 40x, is equal to 19 times 100, and that gives me 1900. So my cross multiplication is complete. Next, I'm going to divide by my coefficient, which is 40. Divide by 40 on both sides. We're going to figure out what x is equal to. So I'm going to go ahead and start my division. The top number goes inside, 1900. The bottom number goes outside. So I'm going to divide. 40 cannot go into 1. It cannot go into 19. But it can go into 190, and it goes into 190 4 times, which is why the 4 is over the first 0. 4 times 40 gives me 160. I subtract and I'm left with 30. Well, 40 cannot go into 30, so I drop the 0. Then it goes in 7 times, which is 280. I subtract and I'm left with 20. Well, 40 cannot go into 20, so I need to add a 0. But before I add my 0, I need to add a decimal point. And when I add my decimal point at the bottom, I add my decimal point at the top. Then I add the 0 and drop it down. 40 can go into 200 5 times. So we have 200 and that's 0. So x is equal to 47.5. So what that means is there was a 47.5% increase. Let's take a look at the next example. Now it says find the percent of change from 50 to 8. So now I'm going from 50, which will be my original, to 8, which is why it is a percent decrease. We are still going to set it up the same. Set up your proportion box. So you have C for change, O for original. Then you are going to put your given information here. What we're looking for are percent. So we know that we're going from 50 to 8. So 50 is my original number. In order to figure out what my change is, I need to subtract. So I'm going to do 50 minus 8. And remember, when you're subtracting, it just want to find the absolute value. So I need to borrow. So I have a 4 here. So I'm left with 42. So there was a change in 42 units. I am looking for the percentage, which is why there's going to be X here. We know percents are out of 100. Now I am going to cross multiply. So I have 50 times X, which is 50X, is equal to 42 times 100, which is 4,200. We're going to divide by 50 on both sides. This cancels. And we're going to figure out what our X value is. So I'm going to set up my division. 4,200 goes on the inside and 50 goes on the outside. So 50 cannot go into 4. 50 cannot go into 42. But 50 can go into 428 times. And that gives us 400. Subtract and we get 20. 50 cannot go into 20, so we drop the 0 down and we get 200. 50 goes into 200 4 times. So that means X is equal to 84, which means there was a 84% decrease. You're going to go ahead and glue your notes in and complete your assignment. Remember, when you are finding percent change, you must subtract your two values first. Remember that change represents your part and original represents your total. Go ahead and complete your assignment.